All right, all right, all right.
Hello, America.
We're here at almost our home away from home.
Yeah, spent a
We're
lot of
here
time
a
here.
lot.
Spent a lot of time.
Yep.
Yep.
We learned a lot from here.
Salted Vines Vineyard,
Yep.
Frankfurt, Delaware. One of the pros of living in a beach town.
Yeah. So we basically have a bunch of topics we're going to talk about this year
Mm-hmm.
that we're going to basically put out here. And one of the topics, we got somebody coming in. I wonder if I should hold the door. She might have slipped on the ice.
Yeah, that looks like a shark attack.
Shark
bite.
Yeah, could have been a shark attack. Living in a beach town.
Yeah. Yep.
So here's a question for you. One of our topics that we're going to talk about is pros and cons of living in southern Delaware,
Right.
Bethany Beach,
Right.
the beach town.
Right.
So if we were going to do a review of living in Bethany Beach,
Okay.
curious whether you got positive, pros, negatives. What do you got? One of the things that come up.
All right. So generally, best move we ever made.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. It was the best move we ever made. Life is definitely different over here on this side of the world. So specifically, there's a couple things right away that just it hit. You can talk finances, you can talk scenery, you can talk good living.
Yeah.
Those three, I think those are the three aspects I would go down. As far as economics.
So when we talk about pros and cons living in a small beach town like Bethany Beach, it's not like living in Ocean City.
No.
It's not like, because Bethany's a little bit different. It's more of a family area.
Right.
So
I'll give you an example.
Go ahead.
Went out to dinner last night.
Yeah.
On a Wednesday night, and the restaurant closed at 8:00. We were the last group out. We were there with another couple. We were the last couple out at 8:00.
Huh.
So you talk to your point about being a small town and not being a resort per se town. But here we are in the off season, and on a Wednesday, the traffic and stuff was enough that the customers were enough that, hey, we close at 8:00.
So we'll go through a couple of pros and cons. So the first thing that comes to your mind about a pro living here, you said restaurants and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean the whole life is better.
Yeah.
Generally, if you want to get specifics, restaurants is one of them.
So I started thinking about this, about being over here, because technically it's a beach town.
Right.
But I don't know that I actually see the beach for a couple of months. I don't go to the beach at this time, outside of just driving by. It's just like a normal.
Right.
It's a normal Bethany is a normally conservative, small town is really what it is.
Yeah.
It's got a small town feel, a lot of farms.
Surrounded by a lot of farms. Bethany itself has one little police department.
Yep.
And then the outskirts outside the town limits is backed up by the state police.
We know one of those police.
Yep. But you can drive around here and not see a cop for weeks. Or not pass one, not see one, not. Moreover, I don't think there's even a lot of calls for service for them.
Yep.
I don't think it's just not there.
It's not a lot of commercial. It's not commercialized. You go to Ocean City, Maryland. What you got is you got all your fast food places. You got all your other stuff like that.
Right.
We don't have that really in Bethany. There is a McDonald's that's over there on the beach.
And there's one on Coastal and there's another one on 54.
Yeah.
That's it.
Other than that, it's just small. I mean, there's some restaurants that are owned by the same people around here. Yeah. I'm trying to think of different. The people Sodell, Finn's, Hooked Up.
Yeah. So
we got a bunch of those restaurants over there, but it's a small beach town. Pros.
What's up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, one of the pros of living in a small beach town is
that we're just so approachable.
We're just so approachable. People come up. So, Lauren, why don't you come over here?
Come on in here, Lauren.
And tell us. This is Lauren. See the camera there?
You got come
have to be in the camera.
Come on around over here.
This is Lauren from Salted Vines. She's what are you?
Winemaker.
The winemaker. Okay. So
she's the head honcho in charge of wine.
Tell us a little bit about this bottle of wine.
So this was the 2023 Chardonnay. It was the first wine that I have submitted to a wine competition. And it did get a bronze medal, which basically just means that the wine has no flaws in it. And it received between 83 and 88.
So you're saying it's flawless.
It's flawless.
It's
how interesting.
Flawless. What kind of flaws would be in a wine?
If it's unbalanced, if the acidity is off, if something is not completely stable.
These are way.
Do you know? Remember when you and I talk about times that we start talking to people
and smarter than us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. That happens a lot.
It happens. It's happening again.
So this is Chardonnay that we can get here. You're still bottling it?
No, all of this is bottled, but it's for sale.
It is for sale, and so let's say that somebody out there in our podcast land wants to buy all you got. How many bottles we have on hand? A lot. So this is
I bottled over 500 gallons. So
500 gallons. That's a lot of wine.
That's more than we made moonshine.
So yeah, Chardonnay. It's an award-winning. Got this little. You have this hanging at your house and everything. Basically, a nice little bronze. Just here. Oh, that's pretty cool. Award-winning winemaker Lauren.
Yeah.
I mean, and we know her.
We expect nothing less.
Yeah. So what's new? What new is coming up here at Salt?
What else are you working on? What else you got cooking up?
We have several new dry white wines. I'm playing with a dry white blend, and then we're working with some new reds. Gonna see what they're gonna do.
Huh.
Freaking cool, man. What do you do for a living? I'm a winemaker.
Yeah.
What do you get to do? I get to experiment and make all different kinds of award-winning wines.
Almost like a mixologist.
Bingo.
That's what it is.
I live in a small little beach town, and I'm a winemaker, and I make great wine.
So here's my question. Whenever you go to Harris Teeter to buy these grapes, you get the red ones or the green ones? Yeah.
And what's the process to remove people's footprints on the grapes? For example, when people are smashing the grapes with their feet, and then before we bottle, is there a sterilization process, or we just go straight with? There you go, straight. Because I know that's a question a lot of people out there want to know.
But we might think that's funny, but sometimes at least once or twice a year, they have people here that stomp grapes.
Yes, and we have gotten the question, should we sanitize our feet so that when you make wine out of it? I'm like,
yeah, just for clarification, you're not using any stomped grapes for wine over here, all right? That's a joke.
That's not the way it works?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Much more sophisticated than that.
Yeah. There's like a big wine press somewhere?
Bingo.
3-ton wine press in the back.
A 3-ton wine press.
Right.
What else can we press in that? Besides grapes, can we press other stuff?
I've pressed blueberries before.
Woo! You know what I found? This is a note for today, just to let you know.
Yeah.
I heard today that blueberries are the one fruit that holds more pesticides than any other fruit.
It's a good thing I don't like blueberries.
They say the best blueberries to get are organic because whenever you get a blueberry, because of the way it's formed and everything, it holds pesticides more than an orange or apple or something else. So blueberries hold that. So I heard that this week from a psychiatrist. Not that I was there. He was talking about brain health.
All right.
Just to let you know. So what about apples? Can we run apples through the press?
That's more difficult. There's a whole freezing and thawing process with apples. I've never done it. I've just heard it's really complicated.
Didn't you make cider here?
Yeah, I got the juice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh, that's pretty interesting.
So a couple steps down the road already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
smart.
That's smart.
I have enough work. I don't need
that. Right.
So there we
experiment with it, you know?
There we have Lauren with her award-winning Chardonnay. Y'all have heard about it here. You should come in and try it. You can come in and get a tasting, buy a bottle, buy a case. Yeah. This would be great for Valentine's Day is coming up. This would be good to take. Can we send this can we carry this on an airplane if we were going somewhere for Valentine's Day?
Probably.
Probably
if we put it in our luggage. We'd have to ship it in our check.
Yeah.
You got to put it in our luggage?
Yeah.
Huh. You can check bottles.
Wow. That'd be pretty cool because you could take some to the pajamas.
Yeah.
Like we're going.
Yeah.
All right, there we go with Lauren. Hey, Lauren, listen.
Thanks
so you lived in a small Bethany Beach town for how long?
I've lived here since I was 11.
Really?
Perfect. Go.
Okay, so give me a pro of living in a small beach town.
A pro is a lot of people, which is also a con.
Oh, really? Huh. Growing up in a small town.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I grew up in a small town in East Texas, and same thing.
Yep.
All right. A con of living in a small beach town. Same thing.
A lot of people.
Or no, a lot of people know you.
Yeah, they see you.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
See you, Lauren.
All right, so another pro.
Yeah.
For you. What do you got?
Okay, so we were talking about restaurants. We're talking about that scenery, okay? Because there isn't a time that goes by when, well, we're in the dead of winter now. But if it was nicer out, I'd be driving on the beach fishing, and you can't. You'd be on your boat.
Yep.
Yeah, we'd be on your boat. We'd be on the beach. You can't beat it. Okay, you cannot beat. I mean, that's probably 90% of the reason I moved here was to be able to do that.
So the con that we've got, I will just let you know, is that people have dreams just to come over here to where we live.
Yes.
And I know you say it a lot. Can you believe we live here?
Right.
This is where we live.
Yes.
People take their vacation to where we live. They pay to take their vacation to where we just wake up every morning.
Right.
And so the con is people show up.
Yeah.
A lot.
And you know what? I don't mind people showing up. What I mind is people showing up and losing their senses, and losing their sense of respect or losing their sense of politeness. I don't like rude people showing up.
Yeah.
And 10% of them that do show up are rude, and it's enough that it can contaminate your opinion of the whole thing. You really have to take a step back and realize, hey, 90% of the people are not that way, but 10% are.
So I agree. Starting roughly early June, late May, all the way up till September.
Yeah, all the way through. Yeah. I mean, all the way through Labor Day.
Easy. We get bombarded. Traffic that's a con.
With Googans.
Yes.
Did you even see that pulled that term out?
I know.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable. Another pro that I would tell you, especially living in a small beach town in the off season, you brought up restaurants.
Yeah.
Is off season specials. All the restaurants over here have off season specials.
Yes.
And so you come over here and they have, cut rates because locals are here. And they're taking care of the locals and everything.
Right.
Another thing coming up is a pro that's coming up. It's turned out to be one of the busiest things around is the Fire and Ice.
Dude, they
weekend.
compare that to 4th of July now.
Yeah.
That's how big that's gotten for the weekend.
Fire and Ice is all here, put on by the Chamber of Commerce in Bethany. They have ice sculptures for all around different restaurants.
Right. So for people who don't know, I think there's 30 or 40 places that participate where they all sponsor a ice sculpture, and it's themed. In years past, it was Hollywood, so there were movie themes. There was what was it last year? Wasn't it like horror films or something like that? Last year?
I think so. I forget.
So you'll get an itinerary of all the restaurants that are participating. Out front of that restaurant will be a really cool looking ice sculpture and be lit up and decorated. But then they're also participating by offering you samples of either a beverage they're known for or a beverage that they are agreeing to put out with the program. So you'll one year was whiskey based products, drinks. Another year was vodka based drinks, and you can go to. I want to say it's like 24 different places.
Yeah, you buy a ticket, you go there, and then what you do is that you rate them.
Right, you go in for free, and you get their signature cocktail at the place.
As a tasting, yeah.
Right.
But they also have a chili cook-off that weekend.
Right.
So you can get the Fire and Ice chili cook-off. They have a couple of different things that they do, all for that week. That's coming up. You remember when it is? It's somewhere in January.
I think it's next weekend.
Is it next weekend?
It's next weekend.
No.
Yeah, it is because we're on the what's today, the 15th.
Yeah.
No, today's the 16th. We were supposed to be in Salt Lake City today.
That's right.
Right. So
so it's got to be next weekend.
It's next weekend.
So that's coming up next weekend. Fire and Ice here. I know that Salted Vines is going to be on Thursday night.
Friday night. They're one of the launch sites. There are two places that are launch sites.
Yeah, all of the ice sculptures are here.
Yes.
And so, I would highly suggest getting a ticket for that. One more pro and con that we've got here.
Yeah.
For Bethany Beach and Fenwick, I would throw Fenwick in there.
Yeah, because
So
everything north of like 150, 145th.
Yeah. So as far as the beaches go.
Yeah.
As far as beaches and how you would compare the beaches here compared to Ocean City or Rehoboth or whatever.
Simple. The fact that you are able to drive onto the beach, set up your stuff. Set up. You drive your 4-wheel drive truck on the beach. Set up your fish post. Got to be actively fishing. And I'm not a big fan of people who scam it. I'm a bigger fan of the guys who are actually set up really fishing. And for us, when our kids were little, we would take our 2 weeks of vacation here, and that's what we would do. Come on the beach every day, and rain or shine, windy or not, and set up and let the kids fish, and I would fish, and we would bring the grill, and we would bring the pop-up, and we would bring cooler full of beer, a cooler full of snacks, and the kids would just tear it up all day long. And the fact that you can drive on the beach here puts it light years ahead of beaches in Ocean City. Light years. And there's no lifeguards, nobody telling you what to do. If you want to smoke a cigar and drink a beer, there's nobody bothering you like some of the beaches in Ocean City. You can't do that. Now, Bethany Township, the beach there, you cannot do that. The beach is right there off the boardwalk. You can't do any of that. So I'm talking about the beaches I'm talking about are part of the state parks program where you're able to drive on and be a responsible adult and do whatever you want.
Yeah, I've got 2 things that I would basically throw up. My 2 final pros for you. First is about the drive on beaches. Growing up in Texas, there's a couple of beaches that we used to drive on all the time.
Yeah.
It's just normal. There's a lot of areas to the Gulf of America right around over there.
Gulf of America, I like how you say that.
There's some beaches over there. We used to drive out on there.
Yep.
So I do the whole drive on beaches. The reason I got rid of a Corvette and now I have a Jeep.
Yeah. Well, I did the same thing growing up on Long Island. We used to be able to drive on to certain parts of to the ocean, to Fire Island and stuff like that. Smith's Point. I did the same thing as a kid.
So the last thing is I've recognized this the past couple of years, that it's the local music scene, because I hear them here.
Yep.
The local music scene that's over here in southern Delaware, in this area, all the way in North Ocean City area.
Yeah, all the way up through Dewey too. All the way up through Dewey.
There's a very good local music scene with Dustin Showers. We got the
he was actually supposed to be here today.
Yeah. The Amish Mafia, I believe they are, I don't know if they're just local here.
I've seen them a few times. They're big in Dewey.
Yeah. Who's the other group that's real big in Dewey that's been there forever?
Love Seed Mama Jump.
Yeah. Love Seed
Mama Jump. They've actually been, they come every summer here to the Vineyard and do a concert for like 250 people here. Yep. It's a good time. They still, if there were people watching who went to UD, who are our age, who went to University of Delaware, Love Seed Mama Jump is a big deal to them because they all grew up going to Dewey Beach, going to Starboard, and seeing those guys play, Bottle and Cork, seeing those guys play, and now they're here. You'll see those people reliving their glory days like that.
What about? Isn't it I'm gonna get them. Hopefully I get their names wrong because we interviewed them. But the Fiskey brothers, isn't that them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they played over here before. They're young guys that are over here. I'm just saying that the local music scene over here, it's unbelievable. You can find out a lot about it, different, whether it's the Vineyard, whether it's a couple of restaurants.
Yeah, local bars.
Yeah,
yes.
Dustin's always playing over there, so there's a lot of good guys over there.
Harpoon Hannah's.
Yep.
Harpoon Hannah. Dustin was in Harpoon Hannah's last week with his band, the Dustin Showers Band. He blew the roof off the joint again. And it's just a good time to go sit down and have a beer or a Jameson and ginger.
There we go.
And sit and listen to him play. They had good stuff.
So just want to let you know, those are some of the pros and cons of living here in a small beach town. We're gonna be going through some topics that I got some written down here, just to let you know. These are some of the topics we got to discuss.
For the future.
Looking at unique neighborhoods in the area. Because the neighborhoods are growing up, and there are specific neighborhoods you might be thinking about, hey, I might want to retire there. It's a good place to retire. We'll point you in the right direction.
There you go.
Just to let you know, cost of living in Bethany and Fenwick.
That was one of my selling points.
Yeah. The cost of living here compared to, let's say, buying in Maryland or buying something else about that.
Literally, we are 10 minutes from Ocean City, Maryland. And the difference in cost is amazing.
Another thing for those people that are coming down during the summer, one of the things I thought was a great topic for us to be able to discuss is I think it'd be good to point out to some of our people out here some of the navigating tips from local people on how to avoid a lot of that traffic that you're looking for up on Route 1 and everything
Route 54,
else. Yeah, 54. We basically have some pointers on how to get here in case you're coming over, because we appreciate your funds. We need the money. Okay?
Make it work.
Yeah.
Yep,
so we're going to go through a bunch of those topics over here, living in a small coastal town. So there we go. So Fung Shway, pay attention. We'll be back with you now.
Yeah, man.
This is, by the way, I was looking at some of the stuff.
Yeah.
I think this is episode 100 or 101 or 102.
That's crazy.
That we've been doing this.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We should have done something special for episode 100.
Well, I think that what ends up happening is that we've been doing a lot of stuff that are live that are basically just on the spot. We're going to keep doing that. But we also have a bunch of stuff that's planned as well, like this. So we'll be doing that. So, Fung Shway audience, stay tuned. Pros and cons living in a beach town.
Yeah.
See ya.
You've been listening to the Fung Shway podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week.